The larger a person has, the more cancer it ought to be able to. To comprehend why, we first have to look at the nature of cancer. The issue is that our cell is a protein robotic constructed out of thousands of million parts. They are guided only through chemical reaction. These cells construct and demolish structures, maintain metabolic processes to generate energy, and even make identical duplicates of themselves. They are referred to as complex chemical pathways. They are biochemical network upon networks that are interconnected and stacked over each other. The majority of them are unable to be understood by a single human brain, yet they function perfectly. Until they fail. With trillions of reactions occurring in a myriad of networks over a long period, the issue isn't whether something could be wrong, but rather when it will happen. Little mistakes accumulate until the massive machinery becomes compromised. To keep this from going out of control, cells have kill switches that cause them to take a suicide. However, these kill switches aren't impervious. In the event of failure, a cell could become a cancerous one. They are usually killed through the system of immunity quickly. However, this is a numbers game. If a cell is given enough time, it will make enough mistakes that it pass by undetected, and then begin producing more. Animals all have to confront this problem. The tissues of various animals have of the same size. The mouse's cells aren't any smaller than yours. They just have smaller cells and a shorter time. A smaller number of cells and a shorter lifespan means that there is a less possibility of something happening or cells changing and mutating, or at minimum, it means that humans live around 50 times longer and possess 3 times the amount of cells as mice, but the risk of cancer is essentially similar in humans and in mice. Blue whales, even whiter, that have 3,000 times greater cells as humans do not appear to develop cancer even if they do. It's Peto's paradox. The bizarre realization that huge animals suffer from much less cancer than they ought to. Scientists believe there are 2 primary methods of explaining this phenomenon, that is evolution and hypertumors. Solution 1. Evolution. Solution 1 is to evolve or transform into an obstructive cancer. When multicellular organisms evolved time ago of 600 million, animals got larger and bigger. That added more cells, which means increased the chance that cells might be damaged. The collective therefore needed to invest in better and more effective cancer protection. Some of them ended up dying. But cancer doesn't just happen. It's an event that causes individuals making mistakes and mutations to various genes in an identical cell. These are known as proto-oncogenes, and when they change, they are bad news. In the case of the correct mutation, cells will cease to be able to self-kill. A second mutation is that it will be able to hide. It will also issue calls for resources. Another will increase in size quickly. Oncogenes possess an antagonist, however, the tumor suppressor gene. They block these vital mutations from happening, or tell the cell to die in the event that they believe it's beyond repair. It's been discovered that larger animals have more of these mutations. This is because elephant cells need more modifications than mouse cells in order to grow into tumors. They are not immune, but are more resilient. This adaptation could come at costs in some way, however, researchers aren't quite sure which one it is. Perhaps tumor suppressors cause elephants to age faster later in life or slow down the speed with which injuries heal. We're still not sure. However, the answer to this paradox could be something else. Hypertumors. Solution 2. Hypertumors. Solution 2. Hypertumors. Solution. Hypertumors. Yes. Solution 2. Hypertumors. Yes, really. Hypertumors names are derived from hyperparasites, which are organisms that parasitize parasites. Hypertumors are tumors that originate from tumors. Cancer is often considered to be a break in the cooperation. Normally, cells collaborate to form structures such as organs, tissues, or components that make up an immune system. Cancer cells are, however, self-centered and work only to benefit themselves in the short term. If they succeed, they will create tumors, large cancerous collectives that could be extremely difficult to eradicate. The process of creating a tumor is hard to accomplish, however. Many millions, or even billions of cancerous cells multiply rapidly and require a great deal of energy and resources. The quantity of nutrients they get from the body becomes the primary factor that limits growth. Thus, the tumor cells manipulate the body into creating new blood vessels that are directly connected to the tumor, and to nourish the cancerous tissue, which kills it. In this case, the character of cancer cells could be their own fault. Cancer cells are unstable and therefore, they are prone to evolve. Some of them more rapidly than other cells. If they keep doing this for a long time, eventually, one of that originated from the initial cancer cells may suddenly see itself as a person again and cease cooperating. That means, like the body itself, the original tumor becomes an adversary, battling for the same limited nutrients and resources. Thus, the newly altered cells could cause a hypertumor. Instead of aiding to treat the hypertumor, they cut off flow of blood to old companions, which causes them to reduce and kill the cancerous cells that caused it. Cancer kills cancer. The process could repeat and over again, which could keep it from becoming an ongoing concern for a large body. The possibility is that larger animals have more hypertumors than we think, and they may not be large enough to be noticed. This makes sense since a 2-gram tumor can be 10% of a mouse's body weight, whereas it's less than 0.0002% of a human and 0.000002% of blue whales. The 3 types of tumors all require the same amount of cell divisions and also have the same amount of cells. Therefore, a blue whale that is old could be full of tiny cancers that require no take care of. There are various other solutions to the Peto's paradox, for instance, different metabolic rates or a different cell structure. However, for the moment, we do not know. Scientists are tackling the issue. Understanding how the large animals are so resistant against one of the fatal illnesses we have can open the way to a new treatment and therapy. Cancer is always a major challenge. We are now getting to know it better, and as a result, one day, we may be able to beat it.